Presenteeism and public sector motivation. Presenteeism is a phenomenon of people who, despite complaints and ill health that should prompt rest and absence in work, are still turning up for their jobs. Presenteeism is employees who are physically present but functionally absent due to illness, or the practice of coming to work when employees should not due to sickness. Public sector motivation describes employees whose motivations are grounded primarily or uniquely in public institutions, particularly regarding serving the public and contributing to activities that benefit others. It's an intrinsic motivator or predisposition to want to serve their communities and societies, a pro-social motivator, sometimes called a sense of civic duty. Understanding individuals' motivations helps us to understand how they feel about their work environments and what strategies they might engage in to cope with those work environments. An employee with high public sector motivation might feel so committed to being at work to support their colleagues or their society that they subordinate their own well-being and come to work when they are unwell and should rest and recover. Therefore, high public sector motivation is a driver of presenteeism. But why should we care? Presenteeism can be more costly than sickness absence. It can have effects for the employee, for colleagues, and for the organisation. An employee with high public sector motivation might ignore the early warning signs that they are unwell and continue coming to work. Failing to rest can aggravate illnesses and make them sicker for longer. The cost to the employee could be the need to take longer time away to recover and risking their long-term health and well-being. So what about colleagues? Where an employee comes to work unwell, they can pass on some health complaints to their colleagues, increasing community transmission of illnesses. Colleagues can also be required to shoulder the burden of additional work where a colleague comes to work sick and is unable to perform at their full capacity. An organisation can also suffer. When employees engage in presenteeism and they are unable to perform to potential, their presenteeism decreases productivity. A typical trigger for redistributing tasks among a team is the absence of a team member. So when employees engage in presenteeism, their work can become bottlenecked with an individual who can't perform to their usual standard due to illness. It can also result in longer-term absences if presenteeism results in illnesses becoming more severe.